What?
This is the Rumor Report with Angela Yee on the Breakfast Club.
So listen up.
Now, last week we reported a story about Nick Cannon doing a talk show, and Charlamagne had this to say.
I just said I don't think that he's going to stick around and do morning radio if he gets a daytime talk show.
All right, well, Nick Cannon responded to this.
I have to defend him because he's just doing what he's supposed to do. He's playing the position of being skeptical, seeing both sides of it, and everyone knows that, you know, I do a lot of things, but I'm here to prove everybody wrong. I love radio, I love this morning show, and I'm not going anywhere regardless of what jobs that I get because you guys are my family. When he says it's a bad idea, I don't know what he's referring to, but I think what he's trying to say is that I'm spread thin. Watch how I move. I ain't got to talk about it. I don't make announcements. I just make moves.
I actually said this is why you don't hire Nick Cannon to do morning radio, but I'm not a hater. I think Nick's people Nick might have said I was a hater. Did we just play that?
Well, on his Instagram, he said that you are his hater friends. He said, how many of us have them? New term, should we call hater friends hatred friends? He says, or freighters, which is friendly haters. He said, Charlamagne and many others in my life that I love and deal with daily all constantly fuel me for greatness. I just want to say thank you and hold my beer.
Well, first of all, Leonard McKelvey, a.k.a. Charlamagne the God, is far from a hater. I root for my folks, especially black men in media. But I'm also a realist, okay? So to be clear, all I'm simply saying is I don't think Nick Cannon is going to stick around and do morning radio. We've seen the good brother Nick Cannon have his own morning show before. Nick used to do mornings on 92.3 Now here in New York back in 2010. He did that for like 2 years. So
yeah, when we started, he was on radio when we started.
Yeah, so he did that from like 2010 to 2012. So it's no hate. When I say Nick not going to stick around and do morning radio, it's just based off his history in radio. I just don't think he is.
I just tell you, I think Nick's just going to go with the check. Wherever the check goes, I think that's where Nick going to go. But his co-host was like, well, why defend Charlamagne?
Why are you defending him if he's so busy bashing on you? It doesn't make any sense.
It's not bashing.
Everybody has those type of friends that are always like, you think you shining? Oh, you balling now? Oh, you got a little nice little car. They put little in front of everything. I like your new little car. Oh, you got a new little job. Oh, like Charlamagne's that friend.
Now, Charlamagne has been ishing on Nick Cannon every time Nick Cannon puts out a record. You ish on.
I want you to stop. I want you to stop for 1 second and think about what you just said. That is not bashing, nor is it hate. Only thing I've ever spoken on when it comes to Nick Cannon, I guess in a negative fashion, is when he raps.
That is true.
Now, raise your hand if you like Nick Cannon's raps in this room. Okay, Dramos is the only person. All right, out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people. So is everybody who didn't raise their hand hating?
No, but I did like one song.
No, you didn't.
I did.
What song?
We're going to play it right now. Like? We're going to play that. Is it there? Please let it be in there. Please let it be in there. It's not there. Damn it, man.
This is a very terrible produced show. I just want you to know
we should have had it up, but hey, I can't call it.
Terribly produced show. Nick Cannon Morning Show has better producers.
Yeah.
So I want to throw that out there.
You're right. It was Gigolo. I like Gigolo. You like Gigolo. We all like Gigolo. It's not even in the system.
Why are you calling for stuff that's not there? Maybe it's Envy's fault. Maybe if you'd have told the producers, they would have had the show.
This is not my thing. I don't do the rumors.
You have to tell the producers what you want, Envy.
All right. Now, Charlamagne also spoke to Kevin Love about mental health, and this is how this conversation went.
The opposite of happiness is hopelessness. Hopelessness is like at the root of anxiety and mental illness, depression. This is not an overstatement. Chronic anxiety is a crisis of hope. It is the fear of a failed future, whereas depression is a crisis of hope because it is the belief in a meaningless future.
Ooh.
A lot of that sentiment came from a book titled Everything is
That was at 92Y last week.
Right. Great conversation about mental health. He also speaks about happiness.
I felt like I had no real hope in my future. I had blinders on. Sometimes when you're in it like that, you just don't feel it. You don't see it until somebody has to smack you across the head and say, hey, listen, everybody's seeing this. I happen to read a cheap novel myself, so I always wear it. But that's kind of what I'm getting at is ever since I was young, it's been like a weighted vest. I can even feel it now. I wake up every single day and make a choice that I'm going to change the relationship that I have with mental illness and depression and anxiety and so on and so forth.
Dropping the clues bombs for my guy, Kevin Love. That's my guy, man.
Did he ever get down to the root of it, of why he feels that way when he wakes up?
His anxiety?
Yeah, and him not being necessarily happy and sometimes depressed.
I think he's figuring it out now. You know, it's a process. You know, I think that anxiety is like anything else in life. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you actually ever figure out what it is. I think you might know your triggers. You know what I'm saying?
Now, you mentioned the other day that sometimes you're depressed. What makes you depressed?
This show. Jazz, let me ask you a question.
This show.
Do you like Nick Cannon as a rapper?
No, not as a rapper.
Okay.
You ain't like Gigolo? I'm a Gigolo.
Come here.
Lots of
Put the
dough.
mic, give her the microphone. Jazz, answer this one simple question.
That mic is on.
Jazz, do you like Nick Cannon as a rapper?
I do not like Nick Cannon as a rapper at all.
But he's great at everything else.
He's an amazing actor. He's
Absolutely.
an amazing businessman.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I just want to throw that out there. So that's not hate.
You ain't like Gigolo? No?
No.
You like Gigolo?
No, I did not.
Okay,
I
forget
love
y'all.
Nick Cannon as a person and a businessman, not as a rapper.
All right, well, that is your rumor report.
And that's not hate.
All right, Charlamagne.
That's not bashing him since day one.